it's Cassie. Thanks so much for joining me today. We are going to be doing an acrylic paint pouring tutorial video for you here, and we are going to be working with the swipe technique today. This here is a really nice quality 20 by 24 inch stretch canvas panel. I've taped off the back, and I've got pins in it to lift it off my working surface a little bit. So the color palette I decided to work with today, I actually just got on Google and I said spring color palette, and I picked the very first one that I saw and I was like, yep, I like it, and I went with it. So that color palette was a very vibrant magenta pink. I added some metallics in with this. It is mostly this color here, which is quinacridone rose. Next color in the color palette, and I'll just set that there for you, is this lovely purple here. This one is mostly ultramarine violet. I did mix in a little bit of metallics with this one as well. Then we have this lovely light blue teal color, and that is mostly this one here, which is turquoise blue. And I mixed in a little bit of iridescent blue-green, green-blue with this one. Then we have a kind of a darker spring green. And this one was a little bit more difficult. I mixed a few things in with it. I started with this color here, light green. Obviously it's not quite that color. I needed it to be a little bit darker, but I didn't have something that really fit, so I went ahead and tried to mix something that looked good. And then I have this nice light green, which is this brilliant yellow green, and it's mixed with some lime green, a little bit of darker greens that I already had mixed up for Dutch pours, for other things. Now I did just mix these, so they've got a lot of air bubbles in them. I'm gonna go ahead and torch them, and you can torch them in the cup still. Especially in these silicone cups, they're great for that. Then the base that I decided to go with to be nice and springy is this very nice light blue. Mostly this is titanium white with a very small amount of light blue permanent mixed in. And then I think what I'm also going to do is put some white in the background and swipe it through a little bit to get a really spring blue cloudy sky, you know, those puffy white clouds, a little bit of that feel going on. It's definitely not going to look like clouds. I just want to give the impression of clouds. And then we'll do the swipes on top of that. So that's kind of what I got going on here. Let's see how it goes. All right. One of my biggest concerns is that I didn't mix enough base paint, so we're going to find out if I did. But because I'm swiping, I'm not going to stretch out the base quite yet. So I'm going to put my base down kind of in the middle. Yeah, it's going to be a little tight, possibly, potentially. But we're going to be adding some paint in, so let's cross our fingers. If I need to, I'll add some white around the edges to help us stretch it out. So many air bubbles. That is what I get for my impatience. And because my paints are mixed a little bit thicker, the air bubbles are slower to rise to the top. So I pop an area, and then after a few seconds, get quite a few more bubbles coming up. It's super important to really try your best to get the air bubbles out of here, because if you don't, you're going to paint your design over the top of it, and then as it dries, the air bubbles are going to continue to poke through and rise up while the paint is still able to allow that, and then you will get this light blue color as a little pock mark or a little pin mark on the surface of the design that you weren't really intending to be there, most likely. So the other thing is that sometimes it can actually leave a little air bubble shaped divot in the paint when it dries, and I definitely have had that happen before. Okie doke. We are now gonna go a little swipey. Sweet. All right. Cool. That's kind of what I was thinking about. I'm gonna torch it some more. I do feel pretty confident I'm gonna need some more paint off to some of these edges here. So I'm just gonna add it. I wanna make sure I can do what I want. Okay, here we go. Done and done with that. We are going to layer in exactly the order I presented them to you in. And we're gonna layer one over here, and we're gonna swipe it along up this way, and I'm gonna layer one over here and swipe it down this way, and kind of let them merge a little bit, maybe not touch, hopefully, and then stretch them off the canvas a little bit. So let's see how that goes. Also, if you get some time, check the description below. I've got links to the products that I typically use in my pours, including the silicone cups that I'm currently using, the blow dryer that I typically will use in my pours. Do you see what I did? I was talking to you and then I just messed that up. That's all right. We're gonna just swap that one out and I'm all right with that. Anyways, I've got a typical mixing recipe, just information down there. Check it out. And consider subscribing to my channel, liking my videos, maybe even sharing them with friends. Really helps other people discover my art and helps me continue to create these for you. Okay, so now we're gonna actually do the swipe. This here is my cell activator mix, and this is 1 part Amsterdam Titanium White to 3 parts Australian Floetrol. Works really nicely for this technique. And what I like to do sometimes is just put a little on my working surface. This is just plastic here that I let the paint drip off onto, dry there, and that's what I use to make paint skins. So it's perfectly fine to use it for this. I'm gonna start over here and do a swipe up this way, as I said. Okay. May have to do a couple. I'm gonna start down here though. Okay, that's pretty cool in a lot of areas. Maybe not what I was going for, not sure. I don't know that I had quite enough Floetrol on here, or a cell activator, I should say. All right, we're gonna go ahead and swipe this one. We'll see how it comes out. I'm gonna get a little more cell activator on here this time. And really, you just are gliding over the top of the paint. Some of those colors ended up making it a little funky out here, but that's all right. We'll kind of stretch a lot of that off the canvas and see how it ends up coming out in the end. I'm often surprised by end results here. Let's go ahead and do a little bit more off this way. one. I don't know about that, but that's fine. Okay. This whole thing may be a bust. That's all right. I'm fine with that. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Got paint on this sweatshirt. Don't tell my boyfriend. It's his. As you can see, I did not even attempt to swipe through that dot there that I decided to leave because I might swipe through it. And it would have been easier to fix beforehand. So try to learn from my mistakes. If you've seen a fairly recent video of mine, I did the exact same thing and I don't know why I don't learn. Just gonna take care of these. There we go. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Just don't like the color of that spot. That's better. All right, guys. I don't know. I honestly do not know with this piece. I'm gonna try to get that corner off a little bit down there. Oh, my paint is up here right now. Okay, there we go. That's getting better. Okay, stop. Yeah, I think that's better with this off the edge now. Let's try to see if we need to recenter or paint at all. I think that's kind of okay. This has got some interesting stuff going on. Okay. All right, guys. Well, here's the finished piece from my point of view. Yeah, I kind of like a lot of what's happening here. And actually, as it sits longer, there's more things developing. There's more color coming through. There's more cells developing. There's a little bit of fractal cells almost happening in a few areas. I'm kind of digging it. So I'm really curious to see how this one is going to develop as it dries. So let's go ahead and come in for a closer look, and we will start over here in this corner. All right, yeah, I really like these colors here. And these are some of the cell areas that are really developing nicely as it sits a little bit longer. This whole ribbon is really nice, and it's difficult really to see in this lighting, unfortunately. I apologize. I know I don't have the best lighting in this room. I'm gonna see what I can do to fix that. Oh, look at these cells though. Really, really nice. And these are continuing to develop. This area looks super cool. And then there's just a little bit more over here. I'm glad I did those extra couple little bits because I think they really added to the overall end painting. All right, guys. Well, again, if you liked this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you in the next one.